What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow, and I'm just going to go live today because I recorded an entire video with no audio. Apparently, when the power kind of cuts on and off a couple of times, my Rode mixer just doesn't reset itself properly, and you have to power it down and power it back up for it to work. So if you don't mind, let me know in the chat. Even you trolls, you can even let me know, is my audio working okay? Because I'd hate to go through this all one more time and nobody able to hear me. Hopefully my internet is good. Everything is good. There's sound better. Good. All right. Well, I don't want this to be a long video, so I'm not going to wait around for chat to fill up. I'm just going to get to the meat and potatoes, let you feel full, and send you about your merry way for the rest of the day. So current TVL on Cardano's up back over almost to $200 million. But of course, you know, as I've said in previous videos, the TVL metrics in Cardano is a little off, considering when you're staking your ADA, you're not locked into anything, so you're not locked up, so it's not technically locked, but it is what it is. Just wanted to point that out. Now, here's what's going on. Now, some of you guys are going to be thinking to yourselves, oh my God, Crow's lost his damn mind. You know, one minute he's saying, oh my gosh, we could get to 20 bucks. Now he's saying it might go back down to 17 cents. And, well, it could. I don't think it's going to come down quite to 17 cents, but I'm going to go over this a little bit. Now, looking at Cardano right now on a daily price chart, what we're going to see here is a 200 moving average and a 50 moving average. And this is on a daily. And you're going to see here that we, back in December 9th, around 2018, we hit a low of 2 cents. Okay. And after that, we started to work our way back up and sideways for the most part, until we finally got this crossover where the 200 crossed down over the 50. And at that point, we continued to move up a bit and then went sideways before we peaked out around 10 cents, okay, for this little mini cycle. And then we started to go down. This, ladies and gentlemen, is just before the Bitcoin halving of that cycle. So we had all of this time going on. We had all of this momentum building over here, and everybody was thinking, oh my gosh, bull run, bull run, bull run, just kind of where we're at now, right? This is pretty similar. And at that time, we got a peak, and then we crossed down, and boom, we moved all the way down to a new low, which ultimately reached 1 penny. Could you imagine? Cardano was just a penny a couple years ago. It's absolutely insane. And from that 1 penny low, it reached all the way up to $3.14. My only regret is just not having bought more. But I might get the opportunity to average my price down even further if this does play out. So if you look at this from this point here, you've got a period from its first low all the way to its second low right in this area here. This is all right before the Bitcoin halving, okay? This was a period of, you can see it, 464 days. So from the first low to the second low, there was a 464-day period. Now, just from the period of the crossover, you can see, let's see here, because I've got a lot going on. Where is all my information here? From the peak to the bottom was 257 days. All right. Now, that was pretty substantial. Okay. And this was all, I mean, this all looks very close to what's happening here. Now, from this low to the halving, it was a very short time frame. Okay. But we went up from the low we went up about 759% just in this first little peak before we started to go down again. So from the low to that first peak before we started getting a real pullback after, because here's what happened. Bitcoin obviously starts to pump before the halving, right? Everybody's FOMOing in because they're like, oh, it's going to be worth so much more. Everything's going to get cut in half. So people buy it up. And then a little bit after the halving, we see a little a decline in Bitcoin's price. Well, what that is it's a lot of people taking the profit from that little pre-halving rally, and it starts going into the most applicable altcoins in the space. Okay, so that's when you see Cardano really get a substantial pump. So almost a 760% pump from its pre-halving low to the first, basically, you know, local high. Okay, now if we look at what we're doing right now, guess what? It's very similar. It's very similar. This little green line here is the next halving. Okay, and if this were to play out very similarly to the last cycle, we basically had our original low of right here at about 24 cents. Okay, and from this point, we'd be looking at a period of around 342 bars, 342 days. And what I did was and this is already off if you see it, because I took a bars pattern from the previous cycle peak and I basically attached it right to the first high, okay, where we kind of peaked for the first time after the local low, and I just threw it on top. Well, you can see that the price action has not been as dramatic as what we saw in the previous cycle. But if we were to take this and pull it out a little bit, you know, that matches up pretty well. And even then, we could still get another 26 cents. But if we were to throw that all the way down, you know, without touching it at all, it basically took us to a new low of around 17 cents. So I would say that it's likely we could see a new low, or maybe not, but it's definitely worth considering and looking into. If we do get a new low, you know what I'm doing. I'm going to continue averaging down. I'm not worried about it at all. And think about it. We've got a long time until the next halving. The halving's not going to be until sometime in April, likely in 2024. So quite literally anything could happen, and I'm just waiting to see what that is. I am also considering a new idea for the channel, maybe every Friday. I'd like to do something I got a little jazzed up going to Karate Combat over in Miami over the weekend, and I wouldn't mind seeing, here's the thing. I know a lot of you guys want me to kind of share, what are my thoughts on, individual projects like I used to back in the day. And I used to spend countless hours researching all these projects just to find out a couple years later it was all bullshit. And I have a real difficult time going into a lot of these projects. But what I thought, what if I were to have two CEOs of competing projects on the same blockchain, battle it out live? Right here as me as the moderator. What makes each project better? What's your team's background? Who are you? Why are you better than this guy? And let them fight it out live in front of you guys as I basically continue trying to pick the fight with probing questions that they eat, almost like a presidential debate. I'd be really into doing that once a week if I could get enough people that were interested in going toe-to-toe with other project developers and CEOs. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think of that idea. But ultimately, listen, man, I've been so tired today. But yeah, I honestly, I don't really care. Even if we were to get down to 17 cents, I would just probably buy in a substantial sum more and average my price down to somewhere probably around 20 cents or so. And I'd feel really good about that. So that's it. I just kind of wanted to share that thought and basically share why I'm seeing that. And it's absolutely a possibility, although I don't necessarily seeing it happen exactly, but we could see 20 cents. I mean, we could easily see 20 cents before the next Bitcoin halving. So don't freak out too much if we do. It's just the way the markets work. It's the way they've always kind of panned out. But there are a lot of different variables associated with the current price action of Cardano compared to previous market cycles as well. We have smart contracts now. We have TVL. We have a lot of applications being built. We have a lot of NFTs. We have a lot of native tokens. We have so many different things that are basically probably going to keep it out of that 17 cent range, but you never know. And sometimes, you know, the market does whatever the market does, and it doesn't really matter what all the other details are. If anything, it just means there's less circulating supply to make it a little easier for the price of Cardano to go up or down in whatever direction based off of the sentiment of Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market. So we'll have to wait and see. But until next time, guys, I am going to call it here. I don't want this video to be too long. It's only 10.5 minutes. I like it like that. Hey, baby. I'll see you guys soon. Crow your coins.